city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first Bald Eagles podcast of the 2026 NFL Philadelphia Eagles football season. What's good, Tone?
My brother. It's just that got a nice ring to it. The
Yes,
2026 NFL season. And let's be honest, man, the NFL is king around these parts. And that's why you guys are here. You guys are here to get your football talk. And I'm always grateful to be here with you guys. So make sure you smash that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up with your boy, Tone DeShields II. As you guys have noticed on the channel, we're going through some maintenance. So I appreciate you guys rocking and rolling through the evolution of Chalk It Up with your boy. So again, man, we got a lot to get into. We're not gonna waste too much time here. Kick your feet up, get your glass of wine, roll your doja, whatever it is, spark your cigarette, whatever it is you got to do. Put the kids down, make sure they ate. Get your errands out the way, or maybe you working right now. Maybe you just clocking in, maybe you just clocking out. Who knows? But just know we see you and we got you covered tonight. All right, Marcus, let's get into it, man. Jaylen Carter, big day for him. Jaylen Carter, the Philadelphia Eagles, they agreed to a 4-year, $152 million extension worth up to $160 million. That includes a grand total of $106 million.
A whole lot of hamburgers,
dollars fully guaranteed, making him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history, per his
and in parentheses,
Rosenhaus.
In parentheses, at face value.
At face value.
Because I'm sure later on down the line, something's going to change, and all of that is set up now just for the pomp and circumstance, just so they can say it.
Exactly. A lot of it is just so guys can have that moniker next to their name for God knows how long, right? There was a point when Jeffrey Simmons was the highest paid D tackle in the league. Once he got his extension is paying him currently an average of $35.276 million a season, right?
And ain't nobody missing no
Carter
meals.
is making 38. Again, Jaylen Carter is making an average salary of $38 million a season. Let's obviously it's you knew the deal was going to get done for the Philadelphia Eagles and Jaylen Carter. It's something that we expected to get done. We knew that it was taking a little longer than expected. I was of the mindset is that the Eagles shouldn't feel the need to rush. That was my honest mindset. But regardless, you do what you need to do based off of the personnel you're dealing with. And Jaylen Carter and his team wanted to get the deal done. And quite frankly, when you think about what the Eagles have come down the pipeline with future contract with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and we're going to talk more about that later on. It's no surprise the Philadelphia Eagles took care of their big fellas up front in Jordan Davis and in Jaylen Carter, with those guys being two of the highest paid D tackles in the league. I believe both players are in the top 5. Jaylen Carter being number 1, Jeffrey Simmons number 2, Chris Jones number 3 with $31.75 million. Dexter Lawrence is 4th, making 28, and Jordan Davis is tied for the 5th spot with Milton Williams making $26 million a season. Marcus, what was your instant reaction to this deal once it got done?
I was just like about time. I knew it was coming. And I'm glad they waited, did what I'm glad Howie waited. And in my mind, he got it done when he wanted to get it done. When he thought it was right, he was moving, he was manipulating the chessboard, getting it set up um, to where he could make his move. And he did, and everybody's happy. Um, Carter can claim he can get his claim to fame, as the highest paid defensive tackle until somebody breaks that record next year. Um, his agent can say the same thing because that's all they want to do is say, I got somebody so and so paid. Everybody's happy. Everybody wins, man. So I'm glad they got it done. That's how the sausage is made. And one less thing to worry about as we go into camp.
Yes. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. You didn't want this looming over camp. You definitely didn't want this lingering into the season. Um, Especially coming off of an off season where you finally been able to quiet some of the drama that's been surrounding your organization thus far. And when the season ended, and once the contract talks began, you started hearing all these rumors about the Philadelphia Eagles potentially shopping Jalen Carter, especially after they traded for Jonathan Bernard and after they paid Jordan Davis, right? And more so specifically after they paid Jordan Davis. When they paid JD, everyone's antenna shot up, and that led them to believe that they weren't fond of Jalen Carter at this point, or
Yes.
or they were deciding to invest in the player that they trusted in the long term, whatever it may be. But the Philadelphia Eagles showed you that at the end of the day, if you play well and you're available and you're not out there Jeffrey Dahmering the whole neighborhood, they'll work with you. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest. When they drafted him, he had stuff surrounding his name then, and they still invested the top 10 pick. And then now he's actually had a cleaner resume in terms of the off the field stuff. You've seen more on the field antics. But I can manage.
yeah, and the only thing, in my opinion, the only thing on the field was the incident in Dallas or at home.
That's the
against
biggest
Dallas.
thing, of course. Yes.
But I mean, it goes to show, and this is just, especially with the way the news cycle has been the last 2 months, right? That just goes to show, to your point about everybody's opinions when they did Jordan Davis first. Then everybody had a theory. Everybody had conspiracy theory. Are they shopping them around? This is all that stuff goes out there, and it just goes to show that sources don't know shit. They are guessing like everybody else is. They get their information as soon as everybody else does. But they don't know more or less than us here doing it on YouTube. So I always laugh at that, because if you go back and you watch the airwaves and look at the text crawl right after Jordan Davis's deal was done, and then you contrast it with what we just saw happen, and then you just want to look at people with the arched eyebrow, and it's like, that's why, and this is why I always say, in most situations, pump your brakes, fall back a little bit, and let things happen. They are going to happen, and they are going to play out one way or the other. And we've got enough evidence in most of those cases that should give you an inclination of which way it's going to go. However, sometimes the obvious thing is not the juiciest thing. It's not creating clicks. It's not creating a narrative. It goes against what's selling. So everybody has to come up with a conspiracy theory. Everybody has to come up with a story. Well, I think, well, who cares what you think? There's only two people that matter: Howie Roseman and Jaylen Carter. Point, period, end of paragraph. So I love it when it goes down like this. It's just another indication. It's just like all these people that are paid to be the smartest people in the room aren't. They are guessing like everybody else.
Yeah. And if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, this is a deal you knew you had to get done. right?
Yes.
You know what your defense is without Jalen Carter. You know what it is with Jalen Carter. And look, the Eagles got the opportunity to experience life without Jalen Carter last season for a stretch of time. And look, that defense was still playing very well. The D tackle rotation was still playing at a pretty solid level. And I mean, most teams don't have that luxury. They had Jordan Davis, who was having a career year just from an overall performance standpoint. Moro Jomo was having a fantastic season.
Yep.
Byron Young stepped up as well. So they were in good hands in terms of depth, but that still doesn't eliminate the value of Jalen Carter. Everyone knows when Jalen Carter's on that football field, he completely alters the game plan
Absolutely.
and completely alters the responsibilities of opposing offensive lines and just opposing offenses overall. I want to
Defense was playing good, but they could have been better.
Yes, yes. They were playing good, but they could have been better. And I think they even took a step back in terms of run defense overall.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying Jordan Davis didn't play well on run defense. I think Jordan Davis was probably the brightest spot on that D line all year long. And for him to hold it down, he showed his value, and that's why he earned that contract.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think as a unit, they were just a weaker run defense. And
A little
I
bit, but the back half of the season, that's when Nakobe Dean just went nuts.
Yeah, things stabilized a little bit. Obviously, that Chicago game was an outlier,
Yeah.
but I think now when you invest in a player like Jalen Carter, knowing what you know, and the talent is what it is, that the talent is easy to pay. Now you ask yourself, what are you expecting on a week-to-week basis, Marcus? I ask you, right, in terms of production, with him making the kind of money he's making, how would you quantify his production so you can qualify the contract? Because again, before you go, Jalen Carter is a very unique player in terms of how he impacts the game. He
Yes.
doesn't just rush the passer and get sacks, right? He doesn't
Correct.
just get TFLs. He doesn't just, force fumbles or whatever it may be. But I think his most underrated trait is his instincts at the line of scrimmage. And to be a little bit more specific, his ability to anticipate what the quarterbacks are doing, to his ability to get his hands up in those passing lanes and just
Mhm.
demoralize quarterbacks. I think having your pass batted down at the line of scrimmage is so demoralizing as a quarterback, because 9 times out of 10, that pass that got deflected was going to be a strike. And next thing you
Absolutely.
know, the D line just pops it, and you're like, it messes with you. So I think that's a really underappreciated portion of Jalen Carter's game. What are you watching for in terms of production with this new deal?
Um, the only thing Jalen Carter needs to do different is nothing. Do exactly what you were doing. Do everything that you did to get you to this point. Don't change a thing.
Mm.
Play within the system. Compliment Jordan Davis because he compliments you, and be the linchpin of that defensive line like you were before you hurt your shoulder or whatever it was. So in my opinion, like, dude, don't do nothing different. You ain't got to come out extra. You ain't got to. Situations like this, people tend to try to make the play. And then you hear that word they throw around. It's like, are they pressing too much? That's when they're trying to make something happen, and just let the game come to you. You'll see when your opportunities come. And he's been, hell, even when he tried to sneak underneath the center and catch the spike pass. Who thinks on that level? No, I don't ever remember seeing anybody do something like that. So just, he might not get enough credit for the football IQ, but he's got it. So my advice is, like, bro, just do what got you there. You ain't got to change nothing. Do what got you there. Listen to Vic Fangio, listen to Clint Hurt, and continue to be a possible future Hall of Famer. That's what you need to do. We haven't had anybody as dominant as him on our defensive line. Hell, is he more dominant than Fletch?
Fletch has been able to build up quite a resume. I'm not ready to just crown him quite yet.
He's got a ways to go.
Fletch is solidified. He's stamped. He's
right.
Again,
Like
that's not me saying his talent isn't there.
You think of the greats, and that includes Reggie White. When you think of the greats, clearly, he hasn't played long enough.
Right.
But we've seen enough potential to where we feel comfortable even having the conversation.
I'll put it to this way, because I like where you're going with this. Although I'm not ready to put him in that upper echelon of great Eagles interior D lineman, although I'm not quite ready to put him there, when I think about the skill set, what I've seen, and when I've seen it, right? Like in my opinion, I will always go back to that Rams performance in that divisional round.
Absolutely.
That was a breakout game. That was an iconic performance.
Yes, it was.
Iconic. And the Eagles don't make it to the NFC Championship, let alone the Super Bowl, without that performance by him.
Yes. And
you have to give credit where credit is due. So I say that all to say Jaylen Carter has all the tools that you require and some to go down as being the best, if not one of the best defensive linemen in Philadelphia Eagles history.
Absolutely.
And I feel comfortable saying that.
Everybody we play against, he is the game plan. He is the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out as an offense, what are we going to do with Jaylen Carter? And he is still going to attract the most attention, and they still got to worry about Nolan Smith. They still got to worry about Jalen Carter. They still got to worry about Jordan Davis. There is a problem at every position on our defensive line. Every position. And we have the potential this year for our defense to be better than it was in 24.
Yes.
And that's saying something.
I agree 100%. Especially when you think about the Jonathan Grenard addition.
We haven't even had a chance to talk about him yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and this is my last point on this deal, because I want to use this deal as an opportunity to get us to another phase of the conversation, which is the Quinyon and Cooper DeJean angle. Yeah. But the last thing I'll say about this deal, as I say with every deal Howie Roseman makes with his players, he just continues to send a message to not just the NFL, but to his players that if you produce,
we're going to take care of you.
We're going to take care of you. And if we can't do it, we're going to make sure you're in position to get it from somewhere else. So somebody else.
Yep.
That's a big part of all of this. For Philadelphia has become a destination.
Absolutely. And he set the tone. We can go all the way back when he signed Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh.
You got two guys to come out of retirement to play for you, and they were playing better than the guys that were there.
Yeah, that generated immediate results.
Linval Joseph immediately fixed the run defense. Immediately.
Yes. Because that year, that was 23, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was god awful. We couldn't tackle. God, it was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But, again, when you draft the guys and you invest in guys, it's easy when they're producing.
Yeah.
So then you get to the Quinyon Mitchell Cooper DeJean part of this, because I'm willing to argue that they hit the ground running better than any defensive rookies I've ever seen for the Philadelphia Eagles with my own two eyes.
Absolutely. And you got to throw Reed Blankenship in there too.
Right. And look, Reed Blankenship, undrafted guy, had to earn it early. As soon as he got his opportunity, he picked off Aaron Rodgers, and he's been a staple on the defense, or was a staple on that defense ever since. But in particular, guys they drafted, right? Those the Quinyon Mitchells and Cooper DeJean's, two guys who I consider a part of that core four, the core four horsemen of this defense, JD, JC, and Quinyon and Coop. When I think about that Quinyon and Coop contract, and then I also think about what just happened with Denzel Ward's contract. If you guys don't know, Denzel Ward, superstar cornerback for the Cleveland Browns, just signed an extension, a 2-year extension worth up to $62.2 million with $52.3 million in guaranteed money. So now, when I think about what the cornerbacks are making at this point, Denzel Ward, once again, is the highest paid corner in football, making $31.1. Trent McDuffie is second, making $31 million. Ahmad Garner, Sauce Garner is making $30.1. Derek Stingley Jr. making $30. And then there's a big drop-off to J.C. Horn making $25. Patrick Surtain making $24, who's going to whack Denver pretty soon. Deron Bland making $22.5. Cowboys have not gotten a return on that investment.
Nope.
Jalen Ramsey, $21.17. AJ Terrell making $20.2, and then Marlon Humphrey making $19.5. So only 9 players in this league right now are making an average annual salary of $20 million or more at the cornerback position. When I think about what I know and what I'm seeing and how the money's getting thrown around, Quinyon Mitchell's contract, north of $30 million. He's going to reset the market. And then Cooper DeJean, his contract is going to be a little bit more interesting because I'm not just giving him number one corner money. It's a different kind of money I'm giving him. I'm giving him some kind of variance of that elite nickel money and that elite safety money. So the highest nickels in his league are making close to $14 million a year. That's way too low for DeJean, obviously. Yeah. So then you got to think about what the safeties are making and add that into the equation. Derwin James, highest paid safety in the league right now. He just got re-upped. He's making $25.2. Kyle Hamilton making $25.1, and Kirby Joseph making $21.5, and Antoine Winfield making $21. Only 4 guys in this league making over $20 million at the safety spot. So now, okay, we're beginning to see a little bit of a window here for Cooper DeJean. He's definitely making over $20 million a year. He's definitely making that. Now the question is he going to get top tier safety money? Is it going to be some variance between that top corner and top safety money? Because I think my honest guess, I think Quinyon Mitchell gets he could end up with $33-34 million a year easily. And
if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, I think the position is going to be irrelevant.
And then Cooper DeJean, that is, I think Cooper DeJean makes they might give him 27 a year, 28 a year. It's possible.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Coop.
Well,
I thought you were talking about Coop. When it comes to Cooper DeJean, because clearly they're gonna move him to safety. He's gonna play both this year. I think he's gonna end up playing a little bit more safety because I think, let's not forget, Rick Woolen is on the other side. Mm-hmm. So I think Rick and Quinyon are going to be the bookends that are going to be fantastic, barring injury. So I think Coop is going to end up being like the wild card, and the way he's played, and we're hoping that level of play continues. It's going to be one of those situations where take the position off the board, just pay the man. He is a playmaker on your defense. Don't worry about the position. He is a playmaker on the defense, and you got to keep him there. So he'll be the wild card. That's going to be another. He got the biggest contract for a insert position here in NFL history. Now, it might not get to that, or it might be a big front-loaded thing where they throw a lot of money at him as a signing bonus and then sign him to a $2 million a year contract. So, however Howie decides to do it, he is going to take care of Cooper DeJean. He is going to take care of Quinyon Mitchell. We cannot be in another situation where we let the secondary go like we did with Slay and like we did with CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Correct.
We don't want to do that again. We don't want to have to jockey bringing those guys back and let's not do that. Because I mean the salary cap is going up every year again. So you're getting more money. Keep the playmakers. Keep the playmakers. You got two phenomenal young players. We're talking about guys going into their third year in the league, and they've been to the Pro Bowl already. So don't screw it up. Not saying that Howie would, but it's too good. Take care of it. Don't even. It's not that complicated. This is not somebody that's on the fringe. Well, if we hoping that they're going to play, we're hoping they're going to pick it up this year. It's none of that. These guys, if they're on the field, they are playing, and you have the confidence going into each game that Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean is going to make a play. Jaylen Carter is going to make a play. I have the utmost confidence that certain people are just going to make big plays at some point in time in the game, and they always come through. Those are the type of players you give a blank check to, and we got 6 of them. we got a bunch of them, dude. A bunch of them. So I don't know how Howie's gonna, do his juggling when it comes to that, because the flip side of that is that moniker that says, hey, you can't pay everybody. Well, Howie's giving it his best effort. That's for damn sure. And when we got players like that, you got to keep them around, man. You can't let them go. Can't let them go.
I agree. I think what Howie Roseman has proven that he can do very well is he's very keen to how the money should be allocated.
Right.
He knows who to pay. And quite frankly, his track record is so strong about who he's decided to pay, who he hasn't decided to pay, right? And sometimes he did decide to pay you, but he ended up trading you for reasons outside of his control. So Howie Roseman has built up enough equity that we don't have to worry about how much they're going to get paid, how it's going to get done. There are just, there are certain guys on this team that we just know if they're on this defense, just plug and play everything else.
Right.
If you got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jordan Davis, and Jaylen Carter on your defense, you can figure everything else out. Now, obviously, that linebacker position, Jahai Campbell's long-term future is going to be very interesting to watch because he was drafted in the first round, 31st overall, but he still has that 5th-year option. He's entering year 2, big year for him. It's going to be really fascinating to just see how they navigate the fringe guys. Because again, the conversation is very simple surrounding Quinyon and Cooper and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. That's the easy conversation. I'm really curious to see how they handle those guys on the fray. Those guys include Jalix Hunt, a Nolan Smith, a Jahai Campbell, Andrew McCouble, whenever that happens, Zach Bond, right? And again, this has nothing to do with talent or skill set, but I consider Zach Bond outside of that bubble that Quinyon and DeJean and Jordan Davis and Jaylen Carter sit in, because they were drafted and they were developed like just from the ground up. And Zach Bond, you did develop him, but you didn't draft him. And
you're lucky with him. Basically.
And you got fortunate with him, and his production over the past few seasons has earned you a Super Bowl, and he stabilized that position. And as far as for God knows how long he's going to continue to do so, but Zach Bond so far has appeared to be a guy that's been easy to negotiate with. So we'll see how Zach Bond is performing, as the years go, and if he'll continue to want to be a Philadelphia Eagle at the expense of trying to break the bank when his next opportunity to get paid happens. We'll see. But you got some talent at linebacker that you can still develop and invest in. I'm very bullish on Jeremiah Trotter Jr., bullish on Jahai Campbell. But
I
regardless,
think
Howie
Jahaz will
Roseman
be
has proven that
phenomenal this
he
year.
can get it done.
I think Jahaz gonna go off. I think that kid is ready to go. He is so naturally talented. He doesn't get enough credit for how fast he is. And like I was just with him the other day.
I
don't
saw
know
that
if you
photo,
saw
man.
that.
That was fly.
Man, it doesn't do justice how big he is, man. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. So I think he's ready for his moment. Let me just say it like that. Especially now, he's not covering for somebody. He's not filling in for Nakobe. He's day one. So, and you're talking about somebody that's got another year under Vic Fangio. That just makes it even sweeter. So, I think he's ready for prime time. I think everybody, all the young players on my defense with the Eagles are going to be paying dividends. I think Jihad is. When Trot gets his opportunity, Trot is going to ball out. The guy that I'm looking for most of all is Andrew Makuba. I'm ready for him to step up because if we got Quinyon, Reek Woolen, Drew Makuba, Cooper, like that secondary is tight, super tight.
It is.
And then you got Marcus Epps is the perfect backup.
He is.
He's the
He's
perfect
very
backup.
steady. He's very steady.
Yes.
He's
So-
steady. He's experienced.
So I think our biggest the Eagles as a team, I still think the biggest question mark is going to be how Sean Mannion operates. That's it. And I have
Yeah.
faith. I have faith in Jalen. I know Jalen been putting in the work. I know he's going to have the offense down by the time camp starts. They've been working on that all season. They've been doing the, meeting down in Florida and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know if this is different. I don't think anybody noticed it before because I'm almost positive he's done this before where everybody meets up in Florida. They do workouts, go over the offense and stuff like that. I'm almost positive he's done that before. But
He's done
obviously,
it multiple times this summer, though.
this is
Like
gonna
he's
get
had 3 sessions this summer.
the most eyes on him is because everything that happened with Patullo, all the criticism of him. So yeah, I have confidence that Jalen Hurts is going to be ready to go. He's going to have the offense mastered, and then it's going to be him and Sean Mannion trying to figure out what's the best way to go on down and distance. So I can't wait, man. I really, and it's a shame because you're not going to really see much of what Mannion is trying to do in camp. You're not going to see none of that.
Right. With them constructing everything the way they did, right, and finding ways to retain the critical players, you got to be grateful for Howie Roseman's ability to just always stay ahead of the curve, not being afraid to pivot. I mean, you pivot in with Sean Mannion and just completely, retooling your offense schematically and investing in Jaylen Carter and Jordan Davis, just getting it done. Not being afraid to trade AJ Brown and drafting Mekhi Lemon in the first round, being bold about what your plans are, right, through your actions. There's some organizations that just aren't forthcoming or just aren't they don't have the courage or the convictions, or they have a hard time assessing value on a consistent basis.
Right.
And I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today because Tampa Bay is currently at a crossroads with 2 of their star players.
Yeah, Vita Vea and who's the other one?
Baker Mayfield. So here's the thing, right? Vita Vea, right now, Vita Vea is not making top tier defensive tackle money. And again, he's making a lot of money, but not for his position. Right now, Vita Vea is making an average annual salary of $17.75 million. Now, granted, Vita Vea, he's north of 30. I think he's 32. He's 31. He's 31, and he'll be 32 in February. So he's 31. And Tampa Bay, basically told him, look, whatever you're asking for, we don't feel comfortable giving you that. And he requested a trade immediately.
Yeah.
He requested like training camps around the corner. He said, nope. If you ain't gonna do it,
that's a pride move right there.
And
that's somebody saying all the blood, sweat, and tears I gave you guys, and this is how you gonna do me.
Yeah, and this is he's only on deal 2 or contract number 2.
Yeah, and you got to remember, the people have to remember this. If a team wants you bad enough, they'll find a way to get you. Period.
Or keep you, right?
Yep.
And then Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is currently right now, from a salary standpoint, he's making $33.33 million a year, which is ranked 16th in the league.
Right.
Now, look, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I'm not. This isn't about my opinion about Baker Mayfield, right? This is about the market, and this is about what he's done, what he's been for you,
right?
And the reality is, Baker Mayfield stabilized that Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback position after Tom Brady left. Now, granted, you haven't been getting the same results, but for the past 3 seasons, Baker Mayfield has been your starting quarterback, and he's been productive.
Yep.
You haven't had any deep playoff runs. You've, for the most part, been one and done.
That's what they're gonna ding him.
And they're gonna ding him for that. But where do you go from there? Where do you go?
Great question.
What are your options?
He's in the same situation like CJ Gardner-Johnson.
How so?
Same situation. CJ overshot his market. I don't begrudge him. Go get your money. His timing just sucked because the market was bottomed out. So yes, he should have got paid more money. Without question. He was worth it. He put his time in, and he was good. He was very good. So whatever he was looking for, in my opinion, he earned it. The market just didn't bear it. If everybody in your market is getting paid $8 million less than what you're asking for, you're not the difference. And that's what happened to him. Is Vita Vea going to be in the same situation? I don't know.
It's a good question. And again, he's an older player.
Yes.
And I highly, with the Jeffrey Simmons contract coming across the pipeline, the Jalen Carter contract coming across the pipeline, the Jordan Davis contract coming across the pipeline, which is a more realistic comp for him in terms of the money. If I'm Vita Vea and I'm seeing what Jordan Davis got at $26 million a year, you got to get me close to that, because he's been one of your best defensive linemen for as long as he's been there. People personify your defense with his presence.
Yeah.
And I just think Tampa's like, look, we appreciate you. And we got a lot done together. But Tampa's probably feeling like, dog, we didn't pay Mike Evans. We not paying you. We didn't pay Mike. We let Mike walk.
Yeah.
We let him walk.
Business decisions.
And he means more, and he meant more to the organization than you. So I think Vita Vea will be traded. The question is, where will he be traded? Baker Mayfield situation, he told them straight up, if we can't get anything figured out by training camp, I'm not discussing it during the season. So and for the record, he's going to be a free agent next offseason. So
yeah,
in theory, the Buccaneers have no idea what their quarterback position is going to look like in 2027 and beyond. Now, maybe they get the deal done before he actually hits free agency, right? Because, they had that little window when they can make their offers. But I don't know, man. I just feel like I just have a hard time believing Baker's going to show them anything other than what he has.
Once you get him out there on the field, it's second nature to him. He'll be fine. Um, he
But
can
that's the
play without a
thing.
contract.
I don't know. That's the thing. I think Baker's going to do what Baker does. I think Baker's going to have a season that we've seen him have.
Right.
And I just don't know if he's going to perform at a level so far beyond what the Buccaneers expect to warrant the money he's potentially looking for. I don't know what he's looking for. Again, he's only making 33.3. So he could just want to be put in that 50 range.
He want that one last contract before he get up out of here.
He want that one last contract.
How old is he? 30, 31, 32?
Baker's 32. 31. Sorry, 31. He'll be 32 in April next year.
With the
He just turned
quarterback,
31.
quarterbacks are going hell, and there's new rules every year to protect them. So, sky's the limit, I guess. But he just wants his money now. Don't really blame him. But they're not willing to come up off of that. They don't think enough of you as a quarterback to do that.
Right. And honestly, if I'm Tampa, I'm not mad at you for not being over eager to pay him.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Baker Mayfield, we've built rosters good enough to compete.
Yes.
I think Tampa has built enough good in the span. And Baker's been there for 3 seasons, and I feel like Tampa Bay at least one of those seasons had a roster. Matter of fact, the 2024 season when Baker went crazy,
yeah,
that season, that they were playing very well, and then I think they fell off the face of the earth. Let me make sure I got this correct here, but the standings from the let's see here are 2024 Tampa, they did win the division, but I mean, you won your division with, let me see here. You won the division with going 10-7, right? 10-7, not dominant at all. You went 10-7, and Atlanta was on your heels. Nonetheless, you won the division, and you went 10-7. In 2023, when Baker was there, you won the division again, but you were 9-8. So he's good enough to win the division. He's established his floor. He's good enough to get you to the playoffs and win the division. 2025, they didn't win the division. 8-9. Carolina beat him out. So in 2 or 3 seasons with him as your starting quarterback, you won the division. And how many playoffs wins does Baker Mayfield have in that span of time? 1 when they beat the Eagles.
And yeah, that's what it all comes down to. They can front all they want to, and it's kind of flip-flopping back and forth when we're talking about the conversation with Jalen Hurts. Winning matters. Winning in the playoff matters more, and he didn't.
He's 1-2 in the playoffs as a Buccaneer.
And there you have it.
And they didn't make the playoffs in 2025. So
and why does everybody forget that so conveniently? I don't understand that. They forget that point like it's so easy to do. And your guy throwing for all of them yards and all of those stats didn't get it done. That's what I don't understand. I find that funny. But people justify it any way they want to try to keep the hate there and try to think of every excuse in the world of why our guy is better than your guy when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
When it matters. So that's the never-ending story, man. And you know what? It's gonna happen again this year. But we have the expectations of what we want to do, what we should be doing, and how it's going to play out. Once again, we start from ground zero. We got a new offensive coordinator, the learning curve, all of that type of stuff. But we also got everybody healthy. I think Saquon's going to have another good year. You take all of that stuff into consideration. We still have the same situation where is Jalen being carried again? Are we going to have that conversation again? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I still think we have one of the better teams. I still think our Super Bowl window is wide open. And I think Sean Mannion, Reek Woolen, and Makai Lemon are going to be as advertised.
I agree.
And that's going to be a huge thing. I've been saying, we get all of the questions. Who's gonna replace the production for AJ Brown? Well, it's probably going to be a combination of people. It's probably going to be a combination of what I think is going to be Dontavian Wicks and Hollywood Brown. I got a strange feeling, man, that Hollywood Brown is going to go off. So all we need is one person on the other side to make people understand that you just can't roll that safety over to Devontae Smith and double him, because you got somebody on the other side that's going to burn you. He doesn't have to have, 1,000 yards like AJ Brown. All you got to do is let people know that you are a threat. That's all you got to do. And that'll balance out Smitty. And then we'll get what we get from Makai and Stowers and, fill in the blanks. We can still have that four-headed monster the way we had it before. It's just going to look a little different. And one of those guys is going to show up. Hollywood Brown, Darius Cooper, Dontavian Wicks. I'm interested to see which one is going to step up and be that other guy, be the number two that says, hey, you can roll to the other side if you want to, but if you leave me alone, I'm going to burn you.
Right.
I'm going to burn you. So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I agree. Replacing production is never really one-to-one. Like you described, it's something that how you produce is something that's always kind of figured out at a season, each and every season, right? It's never the same how your bread is buttered, because sometimes unsung heroes come along in your season and they're balling and you're feeding them and they're doing it. So production is very relative, and I don't think the Eagles or even fans really should wrap themselves up with the idea of how are the Eagles going to replace that production from the player you traded. Right. I wouldn't wrap myself up in that idea if I'm an Eagles fan. I'm more so focused on how the offense looks overall. Because at the end of the day, if they're flowing like a well-oiled machine, who cares where it's coming from?
Who cares where it's coming from? Who cares who kicked in the door?
If they're a well-oiled machine and they can't be stopped and they're dominant, who cares where it's coming from?
I'm not complaining about getting $1 million. I ain't gonna complain that it's in $5 bills.
Like, if I don't think this will happen, but let's just say it does. If Makai Lemon just is beyond as advertised, he's just burning everybody, killing everybody, and he's more productive than Smitty. Does that mean Smitty didn't have a good season or he let us down? No, but that just means Makai Lemon exceeded our expectations, and that's just where the production was flowing. So every week is going to be very interesting for the Philadelphia Eagles team, but there are certain things that are guaranteed, and that's Devontae Smith getting his targets and Saquon Barkley getting his touches, and everybody else, you're going to get him where you fit in. Simple as that.
Pretty much.
But that's all I really have for this evening. When it comes to these Philadelphia Eagles in this NFL, man. You got anything else, or are you all good?
Man, I'm ready to go. We done with the lists and the rankings and all that other kind of nonsense. Now it's just time to, get your feet in the grass and put belt to ass, man. Now it's time to go.
Absolutely. And as always, you guys, we are extremely grateful for you supporting the show, supporting us each and every week. You guys know when the season starts, you're going to get 2 shows a week from us. One as your pregame show on game days, and your follow-up show every Tuesday evening. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk with Coach Marcus. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up with Tone DeShields II. We appreciate the love and the support. He's Marcus Thomas, a.k.a. Coach Marcus. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on the Bald Eagles podcast. And it's straight like that, y'all. Flag was fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite, from the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing